Hey, New Earth Mamas, how we doing this month? I know last month and the beginning of this month was a toughie for many of us as we had to face those huge fears and yeah, heavy, really heavy. Hopefully, if you've done that deep excavating, you are starting to feel a little more light, a little more clarity. Um, in the email that I sent you my breakthrough of this week. This week for me has been the week, when things are finally starting to make some fucking sense. And when things are starting actually to manifest. How long have we been trying to manifest? And it's just been wait, and nothing's working, and we're in a void. And okay, we're through that void, and now we have more work to do, and work, and then another void. Blech, endless. It's been endless, it's been brutal. But right now, peeking through in very spontaneous and significant ways should be a new source of light coming not to us but from us because of this work we've done. And keep that in mind that, when you're bringing in light, it's not like a bringing in light. We are creator gods. We are the world. We're bringing in light from us, from our heart center, and out that way. And that's attracting everything else that we want. So if you watched my video that I posted in the email about my breakthrough this week, you will know that I have this breakthrough with my body. And it seems so simple looking back on it now. Um, but it wasn't. It just wasn't. And so, you know what? Whatever final battle you have to fight, looking back, you're going to think, huh, it was so simple. But it wasn't because we had to have, with all this work, we're removing these blocks. And when we're removing the blocks, then we can clearly see the answer. So with my own body breakthrough, um, I freed up some major energy. Seriously, I've been worrying about my body since I was 16 years old. And then I was worrying about my son's body, and man, was that an energy sucker. But just coming to these realizations and this decision and commitment to bring it, I'll go all the way down to the bottom. Well, who knows? Am I going to have to actually go to that 157 now? I don't know. But you know what? It doesn't even matter. I'm not even weighing myself anymore. I'm not weighing my son. He likes to weigh himself. But none of it even matters anymore. And that's the freedom. We're not we're not constantly churning over these obsessive thoughts in our head that take up so much space and so much energy. And when you fight that last battle, I'm not going to say everything's going to be easy from then on, but man, the energy that is freed from you, where this new information can come in. New information, new insights, and because of the um, uh, merging of the sacred masculine with the divine feminine, now we actually have the inspiration, motivation, and the energy to actually follow through. So, for many months, years for some of us, we've been in this contemplation phase. We've been contemplating our greatness. We've been contemplating our biggest dreams, contemplating them. But when you fight that big fucking battle, the one I talked about last month, when you fight it by not fighting it anymore, that's the key. Just whatever. Just I release. I release it. I'm not fighting anymore. Do whatever you have to do. Then, wow, a huge weight is lifted, and then the insights and the information come pouring into us. So from the time I did that video on, I think it was Wednesday that I did that video, um, that night I had a dream message from a horse, and then I delivered it to the person who needed it. That very same night I had another dream about a horse, and what I'm trying to say is my this freeing of this body obsession and discomfort and just, oh my God, 24/7 of just being uncomfortable in this body has freed up so much stuff. that I went to a horse farm on Thursday, got to interact with maybe 30 horses. My family was with me, and I'm going to tell you my right now my strategy with this horse communication. It's not. It didn't start out as intentional. I would just go have these energy exchanges with the horses because I absolutely love them. I just love them so much. Just so an exchange of energy, some petting, whatever. Sometimes they'll hug me. And then later on, they'll usually send me dreams, or Thursday when I got home, I usually have rest time with my family between 2 and 4, and that's when I do my work, and that's when I read, and that's when I just have my downtime. I couldn't have any downtime because message after message after message was coming through from all these horses I had just visited. Huge messages, clear messages, paradigm changing messages if the people I deliver it to actually take heed and follow it. Holy shit. So what happened was Tuesday, I freed up all this energy. Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, I have been thrust into this new role of horse witch, which I love. That's the name they gave me, the horse witch, and their communication with me is so very strong. And so yesterday I went back to the farm, outed myself as horse intuitive, told these people I have messages for them, which is a very scary thing, telling people, okay, I communicate in ways that people think is crazy, and you can believe it or not, but I have these messages for you. And you wonder how it's going to be received, but by this point in the journey, we don't give a shit anymore. We have to deliver these messages. I know I had to deliver them. The horses would just haunt me with their messages. So, I'm very, warily doing it. This is what I do, and if you're open to the messages, whatever. And not only were these people open to it, they were asking for more. They gave me free reign of the barn. I can come and go as I please, which is a dream come true. I left this, I wish I could tell you this. I would tell you some of the experience with the horses because it's just beyond magical, but that's for another time. This is about you and your spirit babies and the energy that's opening up to us. But the feeling I had when I left the barn yesterday was, oh, just elation, jubilation. And what struck me, and you will notice this too with whatever gifts are going to be opening up to you, and I have an inkling of some of the gifts that will be opening up to you. I'm sure you have an inkling. I'm just going to validate them for you. But it was sheer jubilation, like, oh my God, look how effortless things can be now, and look how quickly things can manifest, and look how it's even better than what we ever imagined. I mean, I had this love for horses when I was 9 to maybe 11 or 12 years old, and then just sort of put it on the back burner. And now to have it come out, it was only 4 months ago it started coming out, and they helped me in dreams, and now I get to help them. This wasn't even a dream of mine, and it's better than I could even imagine. So that is the point. When you break through those battles, that final battle, that's when the dreams start manifesting, things that we couldn't even imagine. So it's here now, sisters. It's here for the taking. And I do want to hear if you are starting to experience this. If you're not yet, you will. And coming to your gifts, because the gifts, they're right there. We've been prepping for them. They're right there. I know a couple of you will be stepping into the arena of pre-birth communication. So if this rings true to you, and I can think of a couple of you, and I'm sure you know who I'm talking to, start journaling your experiences, especially if you've been trying to conceive for a while. Now is the time to really start recording what's going on. And you're not trying to conceive anymore, because that is an old paradigm. You are now whole. You know your babies are coming to you. And now what you're doing, sisters, is you're just documenting the journey so others can now be inspired by you and your knowledge. And I know that a couple of you are stepping into this spirit baby realm and this pre-birth communication. And I know a couple of you already have gifts for that sort of thing. So just trust it. Absolutely just trust it. And this is what I want you to do. And you can all try this because you all have spirit babies. All of you try this. Just take out a journal, your spirit baby journal, and just start asking your baby questions, because your baby now is a guide. someone asked me, I have some really lovely questions here, but someone asked me, are spirit babies aware of our version of time here? And they are, because right now they are creator gods and they're aware of it. We are creator gods who are remembering it. They are creator gods who are aware of it. So they're planning things down from the very, yes, they are planning their time of conception, their year of conception. They are very aware of our time. It doesn't move as slow for them as it does for us, but they're aware of everything, and they're our guides right now. So, take out your journals, ask your babies questions. Um, together with your guides and your angels, whatever you like to call them, and your soul, because your soul knows everything too. Um, those answers will come forth. I know when I was experiencing pre-birth communication, it was like a mingling of the information from my soul and my spirit baby. It has to be, because there's agreements there, there's energy mingling there. So our intuition is always our soul speaking to us. It just depends on where that focus is. So our soul is speaking to us, but if our focus is on the spirit baby realm, then our soul mingles with that energy. Um, and my soul's speaking to it, but if my focus is on the horses, then the horses are mingling. Which brings me to my next point. So here I am, so engulfed with this horse energy the last 36 hours, like, and engulfed, like just in it, and message after message after message. And there's the small limited part of me. There will always be residue, okay? As long as we're in a human form, there will always be residue. It's just whether we're feeding those limitations or not. But this little part of me is saying, well, I'm having, all this amazing communication with horses, but what's it going to take away from me? Can I still talk to the babies? Can I still do aerial? Can I still do this? And I've touched upon this before in a recent video, but it's so easy to cart. I've never been able to say this word. I'm sure I wasn't able to say it in the last one. Compartmentalize. Just put into little separate blocks. Okay, yeah, we can have it all now. So yes, I am a horse witch. I'm still a spirit baby intuitive and cosmic midwife. I'm still an aerialist, but it's not block here. Okay, I'm just going to focus on this here right now. I'm just going to focus on this here right now, and this, and my husband and family. It's not blocked out like that. It doesn't work linearly. It doesn't work in blocks. Now there's a mingling of all of the energy and all of our gifts that we're bringing into the surface, that we are now going to physically, sisters, experience. This is where the shit starts to get real. I tell you, yes, this is where it starts to get real. Where it actually starts to get real right in front of our eyes. So there's this mingling of the energies. For me, there's the spirit babies, there's the horses, there's the aerial, there's the music, there's my family, and it's not block, block, block. It's a mingling. And yes, maybe I'm focusing here, but they're all mingling and helping, and not, I wouldn't say helping, but mingling and dancing and contributing to each other. They're just, but yes, helping too, because the horses are helping me with my spirit baby communication. And in fact, I just opened to the spirit babies. Okay, I'm ready for this next level of information, because you know what? I've worked through this dark side. Even my favorite horse, Jacques, was giving me some tough love. And from where I am right now, it doesn't hurt. I can take it. It just makes sense. Huh, you're right. That's being a master. You can take the criticism and just think, huh, they're right. Well, let's just, follow that. So I think I have maybe been holding out on the spirit babies. Tell me only the good things. Tell me only the good things. Tell me only the good things. And so I'm just opening up to all of it right now. Um, and that brings me to another question. And it's a very good question. But, I'm always talking about the higher vibrational babies. But there was a question of, are there still lower vibrational babies being born? And who are they going to? And I'm not sure how to answer that question, because I have only been privy to the information from the higher vibrational babies. Which brings me to another question that I'm going to just add on top of that, because the question is, what does it mean that our babies hold the highest vibration? I've talked about this other places on my site, but I can't remember where, so bear with me if you've already heard this. But um, every generation of children is a little bit higher in vibration than the generation before them. So we come in a little higher than our parents, and they came in a little higher than their parents. There's just like this little stair-stepping thing of high vibration and then a little higher vibration, a little higher vibration. It's just been the way that it's just been the plan of it. But now, where we are in this cycle, um, we're requiring a huge influx of light to switch this paradigm, switch this consciousness. So we're seeing a huge jump. So instead of just like the little stair steps, still stair steps, little stair steps, I think we're a little high, a little, like quite a bit higher than our parents. But our babies that are coming in are like, whoo! I mean, so the earth has never seen this vibration of baby that's coming in. So that's what I mean. Um, with the high vibrational babies, they're coming in with more of the energy of home and the remembrance of it. The remembrance of it is what will keep them of the higher vibration, and we need them because they are building the new earth. So, are there still lower vibrational babies coming in too? Not lower than us, but I really don't know. I am not privy to that information. If there are lower vibrational babies being born, it's on a different timeline, not our timeline. Every child that comes in is of a higher vibration of the generation before. So I'm not going to say, you know, there's very low scum of the earth coming in, and who are they going to? I you know, if they're soulless, then yeah, but that game is over on our timeline specifically. There's so many different, multiple timelines, and we can tune in to different timelines. I think it's called, what's it called? Line jumping, time jumping? There's a word for it. But we may be experiencing those deja vu. It's like, oh, you're remembering when you wrote this in on your timeline. So deja vu is you remembering, oh, and it's happening a lot lately. Deja vu. I've noticed it happening a lot with me and my husband, and it's just, and it's deja vu on top of deja vu. Like, I'm remembering that I had this experience of remembering before. So it's like really intensified. So maybe the lower vibrational children are still coming in, but not on our timeline. I'm not privy to that information, so I would think we don't have to worry about that at all. And now I totally lost what I set that all up for. Okay, I was talking about. See, I've just totally jumped timeline and I can't remember where I was. But, oh, dimension jumping, that's what it's called. And you might notice that you're driving in your car, all of a sudden you have no idea where you are. Or when you forget what you're doing in this dimension, it's because you're off in another dimension. It's subtle, but it's happening. I can't remember the whole point I was trying to make. Gifts? Building the new earth? Well, we're breaking down the old earth, okay? We're breaking down the old earth by unlearning everything we've learned. Our new children will be coming in, building up the new earth. And I know deja vu is huge right now. Also, dreams are huge right now. I know many of you who are having these very vivid, very intense dreams. Some are beautiful, some are messages, some are scary. It's all information we need. Sometimes it's fears being processed, but pay attention to your dreams right now. And you know, maybe in your journal that you're writing to the babies too, also write your dreams, because there's lots and lots of messages. I never have been one to write down my dreams, but now with all the horses talking to me in my dreams, I have to write down my dreams all the time. And plus, I'm just getting so many other messages too. One of the messages I got was, stop doing the work. Stop the releasing, stop the clearing, because you know what? There will always be, if you're looking for things to clear, you're going to find it. If you're looking for things to work on, there will always be things to work on. If you're done with that, sisters, and I am so done with that, then just all right, I've cleared everything I need to clear. Now it's time to live. Now it's time to move on to the next phase. So the next phase is here. And I know the next phase for you, one of the energies that we'll be mingling in is the pre-birth communication. And it's not like, okay, I am now a spirit baby intuitive and that's all I do. No, no, no. Just bring in all the other gifts. Bring in all the other gifts to that. Maybe some of you will be writing a book about your experiences. But now it's the stepping up, stepping in to our new roles in our new lives. So do you remember when we were thinking of the role? I think it was, I can't remember, February, I think, the energy report, we're trying to figure out what roles we want, how we want to live our lives. And I know for me, I want to live life passionately. You know, I want to be passionately in love with my husband and, you know, really engage with my kids. And I did the whole 15 minutes of faking it. That set me up. You know, it maybe lasts just a couple of weeks, but it set me up to exactly where I want to be right now. And the key is not sliding back into old habits. So for instance, because it really feels worse than ever sliding into the old habits. But so at times when I'm really, really connected and when I'm really having these connected experiences, whether it's in some sort of ceremony or if it's doing a reading, if I'm really connected and getting like this bliss, this high, then my usual mode of operation is to crash afterwards, just crash out. Usually I'll get a migraine and just, you know, woe is me, now I have to go just slough it off. I get like this hangover, a connection hangover. And it started coming on yesterday after, you know, my first visit with the horses and then these hours and hours of messages, and then I didn't even sleep that night because I was getting more messages and then going back to the barn and relaying those messages to even more emails about the messages. After I sent those final emails, I could just feel this crash coming on. And it's very uncomfortable. And so I acknowledged, okay, this is what usually happens. I usually crash. I usually get grumpy with the crash because I'm so exhausted I can't take the energy of anyone else. I usually get a migraine and I usually, yeah, just want to be totally ignored. It was so easy to get there and I started to go there. I was just so exhausted and my husband was pissing me off and we'd already had plans to have we call it an after bedtime date. So after the boys go to bed, we just have our date together here at home. Usually make love. It's a way for us to just reconnect. Which reminds me, I have something else to talk about. But he was pissing me off. I went upstairs to avoid him. He came up. He's like, "What are you doing? I'm avoiding you." He was being sort of a jerk, so. But in the past, I would have just let that fester and I would have avoided him and it didn't feel good. It just didn't feel good. So I went back downstairs. I let him apologize. I stayed mad at him for 5 more minutes just to prove my point, and then I just, you know, I just melted because you know what? It just didn't feel good. And am I going to use this crash as an excuse to sink back into old habits of not connecting with my husband when it's the most important thing to me right now, and just being grumpy with everybody and bringing on the headache? So yeah, no, I just said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And as soon as the boys were in bed, I had this second wind, and we went in and we had a lovely time. And it's just, I woke up this morning feeling happy again, which if I had just sunk into the old habits, then I might still be there today, and that's not where I want to be. Now, that's not to say there's not going to be highs and lows still, because there will always be ebbs and flows as long as we are having this human experience. So the exhaustion was there, I just allowed it, and then just decided to live anyway. I kept my vision. You know, what would a person who's passionate about life do? they would have this awesome connection with horses, and then they would love their husband, and then they would love their children, because we don't have to be tapped out anymore. We don't have to be tapped out. So when we're tapped out, it's okay to be tapped out. Allow it, and then know that we can still be provided for, and we can still carry out those visions we have of ourselves. And anyway, it is time to change those habits into something new. I don't know if I mentioned. I'm trying to think of where I am with you guys and talking about relationships right now. So yeah, the relationships this month of April, maybe you've noticed, it could either be a pulling apart or really a coming together. And my husband and I just decided, you know what? Life is icky right now. I think we decided this on April 1st. Life is just icky right now. Nothing's comfortable. Nothing's familiar. And, I felt like I've been on this side focusing on, um, just like the inspiration of the new world and the motivation and the magic. And he's been focusing on the disassembly of the old world. And we've been having he's aware of my side and I'm aware of his side. He can't fully join me on my side, and I don't want to fully join him on this side. And so there's been that rift there. So what we decided was we're going to take my side and his side, because both are important, and we're going to meet halfway and create our own page. So instead of me being on this page and him being on this page, we're going to bring our pages together and create our own page, create our own energy. The sacred partnership right now with your husbands, with your partner, is really important. I'm calling it, with my husband, the cauldron of creation. So to get a little personal here, look to your relationship as this sacred partnership, because we do now have this joined masculine and feminine in our own bodies. We can bring it together in our own relationships. And it's important for the babies that we do this, because we are creating this higher vibrational energy together. For the longest time I've been doing this thing on my own. This is my path. I got it all figured out, and he's been doing his thing on his own. And now it's time to bring the things we've been doing on our own and bring them together, which is even more powerful. And you know what? Even two of the horses showed me this sacred partnership. One Bunny and one Samson. I was visiting them in stalls, and one looked at me on this side and the other had his nose on his stall, and they each had an eye on me. And whew, God, the connection between these two horses, they're a sacred partnership right there. They got separated because the last time I was there, they got separated because they were called too herd dependent. They were too dependent on each other. And let me tell you, they had a lot to say about that, which is it was an urgency that they had to understand why they were separated, and then to tell them their view of it. So anyway, the sacred masculine, sacred feminine, important for horses, important for our individuality, important for our marriages, and for our spirit babies. So look to your relationships now as a source of your magic. Your cauldron of creation. This is where you guys are going to create the dreams you've been having and the dreams you didn't even know you had. This is where the shit gets good, okay? So make your priorities even more, your relationship even more of a priority here. Schedule the time together, and then set an intention for that time. You don't have to do it every time, but my husband and I will have an intention. Sometimes before we make love, bring that intention. There's a lot of energy, a lot of creation energy there with love making. So, you know what, you guys, just call in the spirit babies again. Call them in again. And not to like call them in again, but call them in. Just call their energy in with your love making. Just have their energy there. And it's not because you're going to become pregnant that day, but just call it in because they have a powerful energy there. And mingling with your stuff and the intentions, oh, what could happen from that? So make your relationships even more of a priority than ever, because it is your cauldron of creation. Call in the spirit babies to add their energy into any intention you have. And then use that energy. And if you have kids now, be magical with them, make potions with them, have their intentions set with them. It's time, our kids are blossoming now too, but it's time to really use our intentional energy again. For a while, I was off the affirmations, I was off the intentions because I'm like, I can't fucking create a thing. I'm not even going to bother. And sometimes you need that break. Now that we're stepping into this new episode of our life, we're experiencing the end of the end and the true beginning of a new beginning. We can bring in those attentions again. Some say commanding the energy, but I don't really like commanding the energy because it feels like more of a control thing. So for me, it's just setting the intention. I talked about making potions, I think, in a recent thing, but it's just so easy. You know, set your intentions in a crystal in the water, and just drink it. Set your intention, you know, even before you go to bed. I'm going to have restful sleep, beautiful dreams with messages, and wake up refreshed. So it's an intentional living right now. Before you eat a meal, I, I was eating grape nuts the other day. This is going to be the best bowl of grape nuts I've ever had. So just setting your attention. I eat this for my pleasure. You know, before I went for that 4 mile walk I talked about when I had my body breakthrough, I just set the intention. I am taking this walk for the pleasure of moving my body. Pleasure is a big thing. I eat this for my pleasure. So I take this bath so my body can pleasure in the warm water. Set your intentions. Just set your intentions. Before you sit down and write your journal, I intend to connect with my baby and receive messages that are helpful for both of us. So intentional living right now. Don't overthink it, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we just can't get it wrong. So to sum up, we are now in the energy of physical transformation where we can actually see shit coming to us. And if you haven't started experiencing yet, you will. If you have to face that final dragon, just know from someone who's got it on the other side, that you can do it, you know. And I'm trying to talk to my husband about this. You know, his fear has always been failure and letting down the family. The men have it rough right now because they have on their shoulders, you know, the need to provide. And so let's support our men as this paradigm crumbles for them. But I keep telling my husband, you know, what, face those fears. What are your biggest fears? Bankruptcy, foreclosure, us not knowing where to go? I said, just say, okay, bring it on. Bring it on. And you can have a condition with that. You can say, okay, bring on the foreclosure, bring on the bankruptcy. As long as my family is provided for in all ways at all times. I mean, just face the fear. Face the fear with your conditions, and then, just as I said in the last video, that big fear may not manifest. It just probably won't. Am I probably going to weigh 157 pounds now? I have a strong feeling no, I won't. But if I do, I don't care. That's the thing. That's the freeing. So if you still have these last fears of, okay, I'm not going to have a baby, I'm going to have to adopt, fine, just let me communicate with my adopted baby, or let me have the best relationship ever, or, you know, just face it. Just fucking face it. Face that dragon and hug it, and it becomes tame. It becomes tame, and that's when all this new stuff comes flooding in because we freed up all that energy. So now is the time, sisters. Now is the time. If you have fought that final battle, you are reaping some of the gifts right now, and they will keep opening. They will keep coming. There will still be ebbs and flows, but this is a new cycle we're stepping into right now. And I feel it. I'm experiencing it with a confidence and an excitement that I haven't felt ever. Ever. With a freeing in my body, more settled in my body. I'm not even worried about it anymore. Holy shit, liberating. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So step into those gifts, bring them in, acknowledge them. You don't even have to do anything now. Just sit back and relax and enjoy it. I like this energy report so much better than the last one. That last one was hard, man. That last one was hard. Okay, I've already answered some of the questions, but I want to get to the rest of them. Someone asked, will we get to the 12th dimension, and will it be in this lifetime? That is sort of an individual decision. All the dimensions are now opening up to us. The fifth dimension for us is the hardest to bridge. From the third to the fifth, that was the hardest. After that, all the other dimensions are almost just equally available to us. It's sort of like making your first millions the hardest, and then they all come. Making to the fifth dimension is the hardest. After that, everything can open up to you. So some of you, if the 12th dimension is calling to you, then that's where you're going. I don't even know what the 12th dimension involves. I know for me personally, I am not involved in the 12th, not being drawn to the 12th dimension right now. Right now, I just want to be enthusiastic about this life I'm living right now. But there are other dimensions opening up right now. If we don't want to go to the 5th, we want to go right to the 8th, we can. So it's really individually up to you. For me, I know I am focused on the 5th dimension right now, and I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very, very comfortable with that. How long I'll settle here, I don't know, but it's so much better than 3D, so I'm good. But if you have other callings and other dimensions, that's individually up to you. Will it be in this lifetime? If it's calling to you now, I'd have to say, yeah, probably. Speaking about lifetimes, another question was, are we as the forerunners, the first wave, will we be dying first to come back as spirit guides? And the answer to that is actually no. We didn't come here to die first to be spirit guides for other people. We came here to live long, prosperous, abundant, motivational lives so that we can inspire people and guide them from this dimension. So it's not like we're dying first and going to be their guides. We are living first and being examples here. And some of us, if we choose to, will actually have very, very long lives. I mean, we're not just doing this to age out and get old and wrinkles and have dentures and die. Sisters, that's not what we're doing. It's a new paradigm, and we're coming here to show that, you know what, I'm going to stay here for 100 years, maybe two, and then I'm going to leave when I'm ready to leave. So, yeah, we're coming here. Our role here is to be examples of the new human species. We are becoming the new human species. We are birthing the new human species. It will be easier for our children than for us, and it'll be even easier for their grandchildren. As I always say, we're the hardest generation. We've got to break down all the other shit first, but we're fucking warriors. Which brings me to another question. What's the deeper reason of why we've chosen this difficult spiritual journey? Is to prove that we can do it. But the reason we've been chosen is because we volunteered and we had to be selected. And the reason is because we've done this shit before. Not here on Earth, but in other dimensions, other planets. We have been the system busters before. We have been the ones who have brought a new consciousness, new unconventional ideas. We're the ones that have done it before. So we have all these stars on our jacket right now. We're galactic rock stars, sisters. So we're galactic beings. Most of us are not even from Earth. We're starseeds. We're from other planets. And we've done this shit before. So we come here to forget so we can be human like the rest of them. And right now we're remembering, oh, I'm actually not human. I'm a creator god. I'm a galactic being. And now this is my energy. But we're going to stay in our humanity so we can show others how it really means to be human. Human 2.0, that's us. So that's why we've chosen it, because we're up for it. We've done it before. We've done it before, and we're really fucking good at it. So it's an honor to do what we're doing right now. We are the rock stars of the galaxy, and we all deserve to pat ourselves on the back. Remember that when it gets hard, that you're a galactic rock star. Okay, I think that is the last question, except for this other one, which I really want to address because it's important. What kind of challenges can we expect with these very vibrational children that are coming in? And right now, I'm just going to point out some of the challenges already. And, you can reference back to I think it's the last blog post I did, things your future child will not fall for. And it's things like they're not going to fall for sitting in a classroom. No. Why do you think kids have ADHD now? because they're not falling for that shit. That's a challenge. They know they're not supposed to be sitting in a classroom. So the powers that be invented this disorder because they won't conform to this way that is unnatural to children. ADHD is one of the challenges in these high vibrational children. Um, but not wanting to do simple things like brush their teeth or eat certain foods. They know that shit doesn't matter. They know they don't have to go to doctors to heal themselves. So listen to that. You know what? I had to listen to my youngest kick and scream about the dentist forever until I figured out he's trying to tell me he doesn't need the dentist. He can heal his own teeth. And he has healed his own teeth. He's healed his own teeth. I don't even think about their teeth anymore. Um, so any conventional thing, they will break down. They will break down. So some of the things that we're seeing now, I'm seeing now on a lot of the children, is children are now coming in more free to carry on the human role of homosexual or bisexual, and it's because we are, as parents, we are more open to that, we are more accepting of that, and so this is really important. It's very important with the divine masculine and the sacred feminine, or vice versa. Joining in us, gender really doesn't matter. I think in this lifetime I will always be a woman. I don't think I'm going to be switching to any androgynous thing, but androgynous children are coming in, and I don't mean by their body parts. They're not going to come in with both. But I think it's called genderqueer is up in, is something that is becoming more prominent. And it's children that are refusing to conform to gender. You know, women who are, sometimes you just can't tell. They could be very beautiful boys who refuse to conform to just being a man, or, you know, maybe women who are with short hair, and just the tomboy sort of thing, refusing to conform. So that is one of the, it doesn't have to be a challenge. It can be an opportunity for us to just embrace it. And that's something else I want to address, is that these children that are coming in, they don't have to come in with challenges. It's only challenging if we resist it. And thankfully, what I'm noticing I can't even count how many children I know that are either genderqueer. I don't really like that word, but that's what they call themselves. Genderqueer or transgender, which means, okay, I came in a boy body, but I am not a boy, I'm a girl. Or just children that refuse to like the boy things, I'm going to like the girl things. There's so much of that now, and it's not a challenge. Well, it is. It is still a challenge because we are still in this paradigm of ignorance around us. In the future, it won't be a challenge. It just will be. And it won't be a challenge for you if you just accept and love this child for who he or she is. So just the breaking down of things, the breaking down of traditions, and things that just don't make sense anymore. I don't think we will be challenging our children this way, which is why we're breaking it all down now in ourselves. So yeah, we are in a position to just be there for loving support for these children as they come in and create this new world with us. So it is an exciting time now, sisters. I have been waiting to have a moment like this for years now, and to just have had this experience. Yes, there's a part of me that's it's just going to go away. You know, I had this whole horse witch experience. I asked them for a break last night. I needed to sleep. And so I've been out of it, and I'm like, and now I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I delivered all these messages. Am I just making it all up? Maybe it won't come back. But it'll come in waves. So you might be engulfed in that for a minute, and then it will recede, and then you'll be engulfed in something else, and then that will recede, and then you'll come in and be engulfed in something else. But there will be the connection and the mingling, and you just simply have to tune into it. So right now, it's really just about trusting it and letting it come to you. If you have any last battles to fight, just do it. It's the hardest thing you have to do, and on the other side, it will seem so simple. So simple. This is the time now, sisters. This is when it gets real. And tell me what you're experiencing. I really want to hear, and I love you.